And this should be us. All right, hello, and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and we are live as always for my sanity and paranoia. Can you let me know if you can hear me? I'm pretty sure you probably can. Thank you to everyone that has shown up. I thought since the markets are crashing, right, we'll go live and have some fun. We'll poke some fun at a few things. If anyone has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them, and we'll take it from there. Right, we'll take it from there. So I assume you can probably hear me. I'm going to do some quick shout outs. Thanks to Sean for showing up, vibing with JA. Every cloud I see a whole heap of people in here. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you to everyone that's shown up. Thank you to all the members. Loud and clear. Okay, and that is my signal to go. So I thought what I would do is point out a few things and then we'll hop into some chat, do a few questions, that kind of thing. The first thing I wanted to point out is I've heard countless times today that the left translated cycle is off the table now, right? And I've heard people say, I told you so, we're never going to go left translated. And it just goes to show that people don't really know what they're looking at. So what I mean by this is if you take a look at this chart right here, okay, even with the current dip to 66k, even with this current dip, we are still, okay, barely even testing the bottom of this current support range, okay, as you can see, which would be 65k. So to my mind, this right here is nothing at all to worry about as it stands. Now, could it get worse? Yes, it could absolutely get worse. But as it stands right now, this hasn't really changed hardly anything, as you're going to hopefully see in a minute. The other thing I wanted to point out is from Tony the Bull right here. He fully is expecting to see this trade sideways, this big wedge develop, something like this. And then hopefully we can move higher out of there, right? That would make perfect sense. All of this would kind of wear everyone out. And we're going to talk about an alternative count for the 60-day cycle for Bitcoin in a minute as well. Largely speaking, as you can see from this, not a great deal has changed either, okay? Still tells us to be open about seeing some kind of pullback and maintaining a parabola to the upside. And then last but not least, to kind of deal with this initial point of the whole left translated versus right translated cycle, you know, people are saying, I told you it's invalidated. But I mean, this is a monthly chart. Even if we had a big red candle, and I'm not saying we will, all the way back to 40k, it would just look like this. And then the next monthly candle could easily continue to resume up towards a left translated cycle top. So for the people that are thinking left translated is off the table just because we're having a little bit of a pullback right now, do not worry, okay? That's not what's going on. What's actually going on is we're having a little bit of a pullback within the context of an uptrend. There's a good chance that today's candle doesn't even close below the upper sloping support line. And as I've been saying over and over again, there's also a good chance that the current 60-day cycle low holds. Now, again, we are going to talk about a alternative count in a minute. But like I said, as it stands, right, a lot of people are sweating this move. And I think if we grab this trend line here, stretch it out here, and then arguably we could do the same thing from here. Okay, maybe this is what Tony is getting at, right? This big kind of compression, and then it's going to wear everyone out. Everyone's going to be tired because during sideways moves, remember, everyone's wrong. Bulls are wrong and bears are wrong because we're going sideways. So this would really wear people out. Like I said, it kind of fits with this whole idea. Overall, the cycle low would still be the cycle low. We wouldn't have a failed cycle. It wouldn't tell me to expect much downside, although, of course, we have to be open to that. And as I've been saying over and over again, we also got to be open to that consolidation cycle, right? Something like this. Stretch this thing out. So maybe it looks something like this. Spend some time going sideways, chopping everyone up, making a triangle, and then we break out. And that could take up to 2 months. But the good news is, by the time, assuming this does occur, by the time we've gotten through it, we should have major upside thereafter. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Like I said, way too early to be scratching off the left translated cycle idea. Also seems like a nice time to let you guys know, and to let everyone know that's going to watch this on replay, that I don't want a left translated cycle. I know this has kind of become this whole idea of mine almost, where people are like, oh, it's Camel's left translated cycle. It's not. All markets go through left translated and right translated cycles. They occur on all time frames. It's by no means my idea. I didn't by no means invent this or want to brand myself as Camel the left translation. It's nothing like that at all. This is just simply, if we top before November of this year, this counts as a left translated cycle, and if we top afterwards, it would count as a right translated cycle. As I've said multiple times, this is the base case. I want to make this really, really clear. I don't want a left translated cycle because it's going to be way harder to deal with. I think we're going to get one. That's what I think seems to be setting up. But I would much rather see some kind of basing here for multiple months, and then a shoot up to a right translated cycle, that would make so much more sense. That would be so much easier to deal with, because not only would we be able to use the trend lines to get me out at the top or near the top, but we'll also know by the time we get to 32, 33, 34 months into this 4-year cycle, that it'll be time to start really being confident that a top is going to come in. So with all that said, I'm going to hop into some comments, see if anyone's got any questions, if anyone's got anything to say. So give me 1 minute. I'm also going to take a sip of water. Pop a cork and see if it reverses trend. I mean, we could do, right? I'm not sure how many corks are in the house. You can watch the previous video, that's fine. I'm seeing this become a thing. This is a theme, is it? That no one's ever going to let me forget the cork pop. But no, I deserve that, that's fine. Trueflation went up a little. Maybe next CPI will finally be the bigger drop down. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Or maybe I'm just entirely wrong about CPI dropping, and instead we're going to need to see a major market crash to bring in asset price deflation. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Brandon, yeah, now I'm live. It's going to pump. Yeah, well, if it does, then you're welcome, I guess, right? Zero emotions, as always, JA, you're completely right. You expect to see what Tony sees? Yeah, I kind of do as well. And the thing I like about this, there's confluence here. There's also confluence with the Elliott Wave guys that are talking about perhaps seeing a macro 4 come in, and all of that is confluence with a 60-day consolidation cycle. So it'd be pretty interesting if we can recover this trend line and that turns out to just be a liquidation wick, because, you know, then it's still a 60-day cycle. Oh, I do want to talk about an alternate count in a minute as well. Bitcoin started going up the minute you started this question video. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. But notice how I didn't pop no corks or celebrate the top too early or anything. So yeah, I think we've got this on lock, right? Do I think there'll be a large sell-off after the halving? I don't really know. I'm not really entertaining that at the moment. I just want to make sure I can stay on the right side of these cycles. So for now, it's very binary. Although while we're above the cycle low, I expect the price to go up. And if we don't start firing off soon, okay, if we don't start to do this soon, then it tells me to be more open to a consolidation cycle rather than a blast off cycle. But if, you know, don't rule this out just yet. That could certainly happen, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. Nothing would surprise me at this moment. A left translated cycle top just means the peak comes before halfway of the 4-year cycle. So that just means we'll top sometime before November of this year. Also remember, we took out a whole heap of long liquidations on the way down, right? Run all the stop losses, and there's loads sat above 72k. So maybe, just maybe, this is what comes next. And that would really upset a bunch of people. Brendan bought the dip, well done. Greetings from Australia. Hello, mate. How you doing? The snakes and spiders don't do it for me. I'm so scared of those. It's probably not that many. Maybe that's just a stereotype, but that's all I can think of when I think of Australia. When moon, pretty soon, I reckon. Yep, Jim knows the disclaimers. When Lambo, soon enough, I reckon. Jim certainly knows the deal. The FCA thing's been a real pain, actually. It's been a real pain. I don't know if I'm overreacting to it, but I don't think I am. I don't think enough people are reacting enough to it. Greetings from India. Litecoin as a leading indicator. Yeah, it could be. Let's take a look. Haven't seen Litecoin in a while. Since the last live stream, I think. Wow, okay. Interesting, right? Interesting. You hear some talk about 2025 cycle top. Yeah, it could be. It could be. And that would be in line with the right-hand arrow and a right translated cycle, right? And that would just be normal. That's what we've done every other time. 3 up, 1 down, 3 up, 1 down, 3 up, 1 down, 3 up, 1 down. So open to that. I'd rather that, as I said a bunch of times. Any updates on BTFP? No, not really. Is PayPal painting similar MicroStrategy bottom? I don't know. It could be. Have we completely filled the CME gap? Is that true? Do we not need to go slightly lower? I thought the CME gap needed to be I thought it was slightly lower than that, but yeah, maybe we have. Also keep in mind, we could be seeing breakdown of this blue line, retest, resumption. So anything and everything is on the table. Hi, Dave. Nice to see you. Very bullish. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right. What's my target for the SPX? What do you mean, up or downside target? I don't really do targets, right? I follow price, I follow trend. I will say this, though. We've been waiting for this daily cycle low to show up. And the market's kind of been conditioned to just buy everything and everything gets reversed. So maybe tomorrow what we see is a big green candle and continuation. But we are starting to get stretched in this daily and weekly cycle. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Blade Runner, yeah, you could be right? You could be right, or you could be wrong, because what if 2025 is not the real year for the bull run? What if the reason we've done this so far is because it's got all the hallmarks and characteristics of a left translated cycle, which tells us to keep an open mind about something more like that. So we're going to find out, I guess. We are going to find out. It could just be halving consolidation. Yeah, it could be. How does the influence of BlackRock holding ETF as native holders may change the direction? How does the influence of BlackRock holding ETFs versus native holders may change the direction? I'm not sure what you mean. Do I like dogs with hats? No, I do not. Listening to Power State's interview, he reiterated he doesn't want to be political. Yep. Nah. Don't listen to a word he says. Just look at his tie. That's all that matters. What colour is his tie? Well done, John. Appreciate it. Dalai Lama incoming. Yeah, maybe. Are the miners likely to follow Bitcoin's consolidation cycle? I would expect they are going to be more volatile. They're more volatile in both directions, aren't they? So I suspect they're going to be more volatile in both directions. And there's probably going to be a lot of chop and a lot of pain for those miners if we do indeed get a 2 months consolidation cycle for Bitcoin. Am I planning to leave after this run? No, I have no plans to leave. I could leave. I could have left before. I didn't need to start a YouTube channel, but no, I like doing it. It's become part of my daily routine, and I'm quite a routine person. So no, I'm not going anywhere, don't worry. There's going to be more cycles, right? And I'll say this. When we get eventually to the next 4-year cycle low, and I want to be getting back in, I do not want to do it KYC'd. That's all I'll say on that. But, you know, if we're really going to exit the system, things have got to change a little bit. So I'll leave it at that. But no, I plan on not going anywhere. I plan on leveling up the game. What is Litecoin doing? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't really care about Litecoin, to be honest. Look at gold breakouts. Yeah, it could be. I've been calling for a recession the whole time, right? Anyone that's been here before knows that this has been the base case. It's been the base case for many, many, many months. And I was a little early. I thought the top would come in sooner than it has. Or sooner than... I thought we'd already have topped by now and had a recession. We haven't. But I don't think this is too far away. I don't think this is going to be too far beyond the reality and what plays out. And gold seems to know something, right? The other thing is, look at gold. This is you know, this is not nothing. Gold doesn't just break out like that for no reason, particularly when the Dixie is also breaking out. Now, could this roll over? Yeah, of course, right? But as it stands, this is what the Dixie looks like, and gold is ripping. And all of this against a backdrop of high interest rates, something else that gold doesn't really like. So, you know, this breakout is even more alarming than most people even realize. And what's worse is most people just keep mocking and jeering and laughing at gold, right? When, in fact, gold is doing gold things, and gold is going to be very important over the next decade. Do you need to be worried about selling May? Yeah, I mean, maybe, right? We'll find out if we get some kind of, you know, pull back into a daily cycle low, and that daily cycle then fails. If we get something like this, left translation, boom, failed cycle, then yeah. But for now, you know, we're still trending up, and there's a good chance that we have this kind of pull back into daily cycle low and then fire out for another full 40-day cycle before then we have the more, what's it called, softer period. So we'll find out, right? We'll find out. Any thoughts on silver? How far to go before you might possibly consider going long? I have a SILJ position in the member section. I also have a big spot silver position, and it looks all right. Okay, like silver's starting to believe, isn't it? It's starting to believe the gold rally is for real. It didn't really believe it at first, but now it's starting to believe it. So I think this is probably going to come on. The miners are also starting to think about believing this thing is for real. This is the junior miners. So I mean, yeah, one by one, right? This is what people don't realize about gold. It's like people are like, I'm never buying gold. Bitcoin's so much better. I'm never buying gold. It's like you will, and you'll be forced to, and everyone will be forced to, because that's what happens, right? Niraj, thank you for the $1. I really appreciate it. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm not very good with names. Sal, watching from a dumpster. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Look out for the rats, I guess. Yeah, make sure nothing catches fire. Yeah, I can, since you donate some money, I can look at Zephyr Protocol. I don't know what this is. Is that it? Is that it? Is it? Is this it? I don't know. I'll assume it's this, and if it's not, let me know, okay? Yeah, well, what do I say? What do we say about this? I mean, I don't know. Is this definitely the right one? I don't really know what to say. It doesn't look very good to me, personally. I mean, maybe this is a thing. I don't know. I don't like this. That's not for me, personally. Bitcoin doing... You know, Bitcoin's hanging around, okay? Bitcoin's hanging around. I don't mind what I'm seeing out of Bitcoin. Why does the blue line on Bitcoin start above where it touches the previous line of attack? What do you mean? Oh, it doesn't have to touch the line. It starts from the price because that's the level, right? And there's another one here. So I could start it at this wick, if that's what you mean. But, you know, the market's not really respecting that line as much as it's respecting the one above. That's why. Do I like dogs with hats? No. But look to 2015, 2017 looks similar. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Capo is right, 12k. Maybe. I don't know. I doubt it. What do I think about MicroStrategy crash? Is it a crash? Or is it a trendline violation that's looking to recover? It could really go either way at the minute, right? This is definitely an early warning sign. This is definitely an early warning sign because it's below the trendline support. But if it closes the daily candle back here and then tomorrow's candle looks like this, then it's not really an issue, right? Equally, if this is breakdown, retest, looking for that resumption, then yeah. But as it stands, this is just an early warning sign. And there's not really a great deal more to say about that. What do I think about Solana? I don't care about Solana. The ETF boys are going to sell into May and everyone's going to be buying. Maybe, yep. Could I illustrate your hypothetical exit plans? I could. And I think that's best explained with two charts. Let's try this chart first. Log scale. Excuse me. Zoom out a bit. So if we get something like this yellow fractal play out, let's get rid of that. So we get, you know, we're in the process of working something out, then we get another push, and don't watch the price, don't look at the numbers, okay, it doesn't matter, but we've had our first angle in red, second angle slightly steeper, third angle steeper, arguably a fourth one could or could not show up, right? But the point is increasingly steep angles of attack that form a parabolic advance, and whether it happens here or much higher up, at some point the idea is that Bitcoin will break down. And when it breaks down, I'm going to exit. So that's what it looks like. The other chart I should probably mention is this one. And this is, I'll put this into a weekly. This is Bitcoin priced in gold. Okay. So I don't know if it's going to make it as high as that, especially given that gold is on a tear at the moment. But as I think Bitcoin is broken down and as this ratio should be higher, I would think at least 60-ish ounces of gold per Bitcoin. Then once we get into this neighborhood, I would be looking to exit the Bitcoin into gold, into physical gold. I know everyone's like, what about Pax Gold? What about ETFs? No, I just want physical. And I understand that not everyone has the means or facility to safely secure gold. And if you don't, then maybe you have to consider some other options. But I'm far too paranoid to exit Bitcoin into fiat currency and keep it in a bank. And equally, I don't want to keep ETFs with some guy, with some provider. So yeah, that's the plan, right? Sell the Bitcoin on a breakdown, exit it to gold. And whether it looks like this or whether it comes from lower down, then I'll be looking to hold the gold whilst it outperforms Bitcoin. That is the base case. That's the idea. And then at some point, we'll be looking to flip back into Bitcoin. What's this? This is a 60-day consolidation cycle I just found. Let's reset this. So yeah, we're going to do something like that, maybe. And look what it implies thereafter. So I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Also kind of fits with this idea of Tony's, right? And notice still by zooming out, it also fits with the macro left translated top from Bob Lucas. Stars are aligning as far as I can tell. Excuse me a minute, I'll have a sip of this. So yeah, Frederick, I hope that answered your question. Have I taken a look at the Pi Bitcoin top? I have, yep. We can do that, I guess. So here's what I know about this. It was kind of invented as like a joke and an experiment. And it did pretty well, right, at nailing the top within a few days here. It also nailed the top within a few days here. And in hindsight, it nailed the top within a few days here, right? But here's the issue I have with it. One, 3 data points isn't very much. That's just a statement of fact. Number two, the other problem I have with it is it called this top, which when we look at the whole chart like this, you go, that wasn't bad, right? It would have got you out, I don't know, somewhere in the 50-ish, maybe higher K region. And relative to the total top of 69K, that's not bad. But the reality is that, you know, it got you out here. Then we had this pullback, this shakeout, and Bitcoin started to go onto a tear towards probably 100K plus. And the reason I believe it didn't get there was because the Fed stepped in and did all this tightening and forced a top in the market. So if the Fed didn't step in and tighten here, right here, then the Bitcoin price would have probably continued up. And then this, in hindsight, would have been a terrible exit from the Pi cycle indicator. So that's all my thoughts on that. There's plenty of space. You know, we should get more upside before we get across on the Pi cycle. And we'll get another data point, right? We'll find out how valuable or invaluable it is. Yeah, that's my thoughts. So it's not something I'm counting on or relying on, but something I'm open to having a look at later in life. Casual bit of fentanyl, apparently. Okay, yeah. My dad is obsessed. Sorry. I don't know why that's so funny to me. You guys are so random sometimes. Oh, I'm seeing some clown emojis. We'll get to them. My dad is obsessed with gold and silver manipulation and suppression and the banking cabal. When I point out that gold is up 10x in 20 years, he just doubles down. What do I do? I mean, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with... They do manipulate the price, right? They use the futures ETFs and they do a bit of suppression. But that doesn't change the fact that, you know, don't look back in time, look forward. Look forward. What is likely to come? Are we going to get to the end of the decade and gold hasn't done a 10x? I don't think so personally. I think 10x is conservative. That's my opinion. And we're going to find out. But yeah, I don't know. It's clearly manipulated. It is what it is, right? But all markets are manipulated just in different ways. I mean, do you really think that this current move in Bitcoin is organic? I don't personally, but who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe it's just standard 60-day cycle stuff. What's KYC? No, KYC. Why no KYC? Because what is the point of Bitcoin, right? You're supposed to exit the system, be your own bank. That's the point for me. Now, maybe you are in it just because you want to make more fiat, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. But I don't see the point in exiting the system and having, excuse my language, unfuckwithable money. I don't see the point in having that if if it's actually not unfuckwithable, right? The point of it is, if you're going to exit the system, if you're going to have non-confiscatable money, that then it has to be non-KYC'd. If it's KYC'd, then your picture, your ID, your driving license or whatever is attached to that Bitcoin. And whilst no one can censor it or stop you moving it, they can certainly see when you've moved it. So if you claim to have lost it, then, you know what I mean? You don't have any anonymity. So that is why I think no KYC, because I want to exit the system personally. But I mean, to each their own, right? It's a lot more complicated than using Coinbase. I kind of am in this camp of people that think they're going to make it harder and harder. I would not be surprised if they reserve Bitcoin and crypto investing for high net worth individuals only in the not too distant future. I could see that being a thing going forward. So yeah, but either way, you can always get it peer to peer. You do have to pay a premium on it, but yeah, we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna cross that bridge at some point later in life. Like for now, let's just focus on trying to sell the top. Gold on the 1 month chart is breaking out of an obvious bull flag. Yeah, gold looks so bullish. Like how can you interpret gold as anything other than bullish, really? I mean, look. And I know it's a really messy chart, but just look at it. It's ridiculous. Here's the weekly chart, breaking out, pushing up, big green weekly candles. Where's the monthly? You know how this is a real breakout. This is a real breakout. The longer we're above this level as well in the blue box, the more significant and for real this becomes. And like I said earlier, this is against a backdrop of a strong dollar and a high interest rate environment. So yeah, this is not nothing. Thoughts on Nat Gas? No strong opinion. I think it's just too beaten down for me to care about. Yeah, it's too beaten down. I know some people like to try and bargain hunt. That's not really my style. I'd rather buy a dip in an uptrend. Sky is crashing indeed. What is what's with all the clown emojis? 84k. I don't know what's happened here. Well, this is what happens, right? Toxicity is rife when Bitcoin takes a dump. So I don't know who you're calling a clown. I don't know if it's me or someone in the chat, but refrain from that, right? Rather than say clown, try to figure out a way of communicating why you've got a problem with whatever it is you've got a problem with. You know, no one can really go anywhere with clown emojis. So we'll find out, right? Hopefully. I already hold spot positions on gold and silver too. Yep, I think that's a pretty reasonable position to be in, particularly going into the rest of this decade. Thoughts on meme coins? Nope, no thoughts. Hi, Lewis. I was talking about going on holiday to Portugal soon. Well, we'll sell the top first, hopefully. We'll try. I say that like I'm going to sell the top. I'm going to do my best to sell the top, and then I might go on holiday. Yeah, like Scuzz absolutely nails it here. Bro, Bitcoin dips 10% and people calling for the end of the market. Yeah, like the end of the bull market. That was it, triple top, right? Triple top. I mean, we're trading sideways. We're trading sideways. We have currently crashed to a level not seen in 9 days. I don't want to look at e-gold, no, sorry. Yeah, if it was the start of a bear market, everyone would not be worried about this. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They'd be telling you to buy the dip and it's going to $1 million a coin. And that's it's up only from here. CPM, hello mate, how you doing? Looking forward to our chat on Saturday. I got your email earlier as well, and I've responded, so have a look out for that. Slow slog with silver. Yeah, it probably will be for a while, but once it eventually gets going, no one's bullish enough as always. I have no plans to visit Canada, to be honest. No, I'd have no plans. I'll let you know if I do, though. Wig-a-lot. Hello, Wig-a-lot. Yeah, there's always something green, right? There's always something green. It's a warning sign unless it's not. I don't know what that means. Try to articulate your point, and then maybe we can have a discussion. Can I look at Node AI GPU? What is that? I guess so. Oh, nah. Go on then. Nah. Shell, what's your issue, bro? Like, what is this? I don't understand. Yeah, I think every single market is probably fraudulent to some extent, right? That only makes sense to me. What do I think of Jim Cramer's prediction? 1 million Bitcoin now confirmed. I mean, probably longer term. I think that was probably always written, but who knows, right? If Bitcoin keeps consolidating until May, does that rule out left translation? No, it doesn't, because like I said earlier, left translation just means the top comes any time before November of this year. So we could consolidate for 2 months, right? Snap up and make a top somewhere, roll over. That could be the ultimate top, and that would be left translated. Try to find a good comment. Any ETA on another video with CPM and Cobra Stacker? Yes, there is. There is. And the ETA is we're going to be... Oh, let's do the plug. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Niraj. Good shout. We'll do... Nope. Sorry. Excuse me. Go here. So, me and Cobra Stacker... Here's Cobra Stacker. Go show him some love. Are going to be appearing on CPM's channel, who you should also go and subscribe to because he's got a 500 sub giveaway, which once he hits 500 subscribers, he's going to give away some Bitcoin. So you should go and subscribe to CPM and Cobra. We're going to be on CPM's channel, and that is going to be recorded this Saturday, and it's going to be posted this Sunday. So that'll be part, I don't know, I've lost count, but it'll be another whiskey and rum with Cobra, and I believe we're going to be joined by Darth Precious Metals as well. I think it's Darth that's going to be joining us here. So yeah, go and show him some love. Like I said, we'll be on CPM's channel on Sunday for you guys. We'll be recording it on Saturday, and it'll be there for Sunday about 2 p.m. GMT, I would think. What am I drinking? Water and some rum. You think I got a drink problem? How I drink? Check Bitcoin Cash. Does it? Okay. B Cash. Oh, I don't know. What is it? What's the ticker? Bitcoin Cash. Is that it? BCH. Ah, yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay. Cool. It's weird because usually when Bcash does this, it leads Bitcoin. So I don't know, but it hasn't this time, right? We'll find out. So more clown emojis from Shell. Tell me you got liquidated without telling me you got liquidated, bro. Camel, what are my thoughts on interest and debt maturity debt maturing soon. Will they print to pay it back? I would think they do print, yes. I would think they print a lot. And I'm not making this up as I go along. This has been consistently pinned here to the right-hand side of the melt-up chart. And somewhere in here it says, Fed launches record QE 10 or 20 trillion. So, yeah, that's been the base case. And for context, what were we, like 6 or 9 trillion during C19? So that's a lot of inflation later on in life. And that, I believe, is what half of this gold breakout is about. Gold will replace revalue bonds, US debt market. Yeah, and interesting enough, if you price M2 in gold, if you peg the M2 supply in today's value, you get like 42k per ounce. Not, again, it's not cool. That's just, I don't think they're going to peg it 1-to-1. But if they did, it's a lot higher than the 2k we're at the moment. Do you think the cycle low is coming in? No, I don't think so. But we did say we would probably look at an alternate count. So let's take a look at that. The alternate count would be, let's copy that. So we've got one of these. It would be from here, right? And then where would that put us? That would put us expecting 60. Oh, interesting. 5th of April, right? So is that what this is? Is this a sneaky 57-day cycle low? And the original count was right the whole time. The one that we scratched off multiple times. Can we put it back like this and get rid of these ones? I mean, to be honest, I don't like this idea. Excuse me, that's wrong. This one. I don't like this as an idea, mostly because the price action here looks great. Yes, the mine is confirmed, this one, but the way I see it, like, that's a lower low than that at the moment. Maybe if this was to come down lower tomorrow and then strongly reverse like that, then maybe we could entertain that count. But I don't really like this as an idea. It is in the timing window, undeniably. And I've never really seen this before, but it's almost like we've got two counts running simultaneously, right? One that starts here and one that starts here. And they both seem to be being respected, and they've both got half cycle lows here and here. So that's pretty interesting. It's like we've got two counts that are both valid at the same time. But by definition, the cycle low should be the lowest pivot point. So that would be this one and this one. This also looks a lot like a fresh cycle, right? It's coming to the cycle low, boom. So I'm sticking with this count for now at least. And remember, if we don't print a lower low here, if we hold above this cycle low, then all that means is we found a cycle low and we started an uptrend, right? So that's my thinking on that. How do I do TA on charts? Watch things behave exactly how you'd expect and then conclude it's inorganic. Well, that's not really what I was talking about, right? Like, it's just in order to fill big boys' orders, they have to generate liquidity, and in order to generate liquidity, they have to chop price around. So that's all I really meant by it's inorganic. They do have to walk it down, and also big boys have to exit their positions in the same way. They have to generate liquidity to sell into. They can't just show up to market when there's no volume and dump a huge sell order. So that's what I really was referring to. Bullish on Monero? No, not really. I don't like Monero, to be honest. Close the week under 67k. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't fade this uptrend either, particularly if we do not close below 67k this week. For me, though, it's still that. I mean, I think we can close as long as we're above that cycle low at about 60-ish k. Then I don't really see the issue. Gold is up 115x since monetary policy was introduced. It has gone pound for pound with inflation. One would have to conclude they're doing a bad job of suppressing it. It's not really kept up with inflation, though. It hasn't. It hasn't. It's underperformed of late. And because of the rehypothecation, like, how do you justify that as not being suppression when they've got, you know, some of these ETFs have 100-to-1 claims? Who has more monitors? I only have one. I have one TV. That's all I've got. I don't have. That's it. I've got one TV, 150-inch television. This Shell guy has a real hard on for me, which is kind of weird. But then again, Shell, can you still not clarify exactly what your issue is, or do you can only fat finger the clown emoji, right? Yeah, poor Shell can't articulate the issue. Till what price would I hold gold? I just want to hold it for a full 8-year cycle. That's what I think. Bob's got a nice chart. Let's see if we can find the chart from Bob. Where's the gold one? It's in here somewhere. Here you go. 8-year cycle low, 8-year cycle low. So at least for another, 6-7 years of upside. And then we'll be looking to exit, assuming we get a right translated gold cycle. So, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. At what price? I don't know. We'll figure that out. But this is kind of what I expect to see. This is why I'm so bullish gold, because we've got an all-time high break and we've left behind an 8-year cycle low. We're only around 1-ish year into this 8-year cycle, right? So perhaps another 6 more, then a 12-month bear market. We'll figure it out as always. No, we won't kick the clown emoji dude. Like, that's fine. If he wants to spam clown emojis. I don't know if Kem's in here. If Kem's in here, they can kick him, but whatever. Sorry, I'm really behind on the comments. I'll try and catch up a little bit. Do I think Bitcoin holds its low? I think it probably does, but no one knows, right? No one knows. How could I possibly answer that with any certainty? It holds until it doesn't, right? All the while we're above the cycle low, happy days. When are alts going to pump? I don't know or care. That was my words about MicroStrategy. I don't know what he's talking about. Why is Bitcoin rugging? Is it rugging, or is this just normal cycle behavior? Like, if I go back to, in fact, I wonder if this will be interesting, right? Give me 1 second to deal with my OCD, clean these yellow spots up. If I grab this, okay, from the last cycle low and do this, and then fit this, so it's bigger. Are we doing something like that? Yeah, fine, it's a deeper puke. But last cycle low, we had a consolidation, and then we ripped. I'm not saying we'll do that again, but it's kind of interesting that that's one possibility. I wonder if we've got any more examples. Not really by the look of it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not the end of the world, right? As long as we don't take out the cycle low, it's still a valid cycle. Do I think it's still potentially... Do I think this could be the top for the year? I mean, I give it like a 1 to 5% probability that that's the actual top. Or that that's the top for this year. Rob Knob, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you find some value here. Shell can't use words. His keyboard is entirely comprised of clown emojis. What is the macro looking like? Who knows, man? Who knows? If anyone knows any good macro guys, please let me know. I find it so difficult with macro these days. And as I keep saying, it's just because they keep lying. They keep lying about the jobs data. They let the jobs data out. They revise it two weeks later. U3 says something completely different to the jolts and everything else. The CPI, they keep changing the calculation. They changed it right at the top before they came up with their 9% print when the real world was probably more like 20%, as everyone knows. Then just before Trueflation started to break 2 months ago, that had been tracking it quite nicely. And then 2 months ago, they changed the calculation again, right? They also went back and edited a bunch of the prior data, the prior readouts. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. But TA is king, and that's why I pay so much attention to the charts. Shell. Oh, okay, we're getting to the bottom of this. This is why I didn't want to kick Shell, right? Because I know you spam clown emojis, and that's fine. If you think I'm a clown, that's fine, right? But he says he doesn't like people making predictions both ways. Just say you have zero clue. That would be fair. Did I ever claim to know like which direction the market was going to go? No, that's not my job, right? I'm not a predictive trader. What I am is a reactive trader. So herein lies the problem, Joe. it's not that I'm a clown. It's that you don't understand what trading is, right? Trading is, we had a cycle low, we had a confirmation, I got long, and the stop goes below the cycle low, right? That's what that is. I don't know if it's going to go down or up. The cycle says all the while we're above there, then we should go up, right? But if we go down, we go down, right? So it's not really an issue with me, right? I don't know. How can anyone know? There's no trader on this planet that can predict the future, right? So rather than attack people, why don't you just study a bit more, and then over time you'll be able to figure out that like nobody knows what's going to happen because it's a market and it's often affected by randomness and chaos. But what you can do is develop an edge like these cycle lows combined with trend lines, and over the long term, right, you'll be able to execute a strategy. I mean, look at these positions. It's hard to say that I'm the clown when I publicly got a core allocation down here, added here, 22k-ish, added another position, 27k-ish, and currently added another one at 68k. Now, maybe this one gets stopped out, right? Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe what happens is what I think will happen, and that's that we climb higher up to here, then get a nasty shakeout, and then go one more time to an ultimate left translated cycle top that when we zoom out on the monthly chart looks an awful lot like this, right? Maybe this is what it ends up looking like. And then I sell somewhere in this neighborhood, and actually it turns out that I wasn't really a clown. It's just you didn't really understand what you were looking at, right? So there's a lesson here, right? There's a lesson here that calling people names is not really useful, right? Asking questions in a respectful manner is much more likely for you to be able to improve on yourself and on your strategy. And for the record, I don't know what direction the market's going to go in, right? But name me another trader that does. No one knows, right? That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point. That's why you have to have an edge. That's why you have to manage your risk. That's why you have to size your positions properly. So I hope that clears that up, Shell, and I hope we can be friends. 10K is coming. I'm not sure about that, bro. Bitcoin is a pension fund replacement. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I like this idea that they could use Bitcoin to bail out the pensions. Remember the UK pension funds got margin called like a year and a bit ago. Do you remember that? That was wild. They actually got margin called, which is crazy. And then the Bank of England had to do an emergency print to bail them out in the middle of a rate hiking cycle, that's just so wild. You know, that is wild. There's only 1.8 million Bitcoin left on exchanges. What do you think about the possible supply shock? I don't know. It sounds cool, right? But the reality is price moves to liquidity. So the price will just keep moving up until it motivates people to sell, or it will move down until it motivates people to buy. It sounds like there is a supply shock probably coming, particularly after the halving, but we're just not really seeing it like I would expect to have seen it so far. Maybe that plays out later in, the last final legs. One day at a time, as always. Why do markets always drop so much faster than they push? It's a good question. Probably because it's harder to motivate sellers than it is to motivate buyers, I would think. No, wait, did I say that right? They walk up because they're trying to slowly find sellers, right? New sellers probably become available on the way up, but prices have to crash to try to find someone to step in and buy it. Bitcoin may need a red month, being green consistently. Yeah, we had like 7 or 8 months in a row of green. It was pretty rare. Or is it weeks? Months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, this could well be the first red month in 7, or, maybe it closes green. There's a lot of time left in April, so we could still close green. That'd be 8 months in a row, which is pretty wild. But it wouldn't surprise me. You don't trade, Shell, but yet you think it's okay to call people clowns that do trade, right? Like, don't you see the problem here, right? Did we fill the CME gap? I don't think we did. I don't think we filled the CME gap quite just yet. I think there's a little bit more to go, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah, $200 or so to close it, but maybe that was enough, right? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Shell, actually, that begs the question, if you don't trade, then why are you so angry by a trader? What happens to Bitcoin when they print $10 trillion? Bro, who knows? Who knows, right? Probably goes a lot higher, I would think. Probably an awful lot higher. When will altcoins fly? I don't know, bro. I have no idea. It might do 200k plus if no reset crash this year. Yeah, could do. It definitely could do 200k, I think. I think if you pull the fibs, you get like 160 for the first target and then a little over 200 for the next one and about 300 for the one after that. But who knows, right? Retail is slowly arriving. I can definitely tell. I can definitely tell by the amount of people that are saying things like they told me so, but they don't even know what they're talking about. Or, you know, people like our friend Shell here, our brother Shell, that doesn't understand the first thing. But that's okay, man. Like everyone's got to go through it, right? Everyone's got to learn. Ride the camel to 100k sounds a little bit suspect. But yeah, I guess you can, right? Random question, but have I ever experimented with using commitment traders data for confluence? I don't use the COT data, but I know Bob Lucas does. Bob Lucas is a massive fan of the COT data. So take that as you will, but I've never really paid much attention to it. Nasco, brother, nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the nice comments. Thanks to the people that understand how trading works. I appreciate it. Bitcoin grabs the liquidity. Yeah, I think you might be right, Nasco. I think that's probably about right. Take the stops from the downside and now run it back to 72k to take the short stops. That's what I would think. I don't think it's Wyckoff distribution. It's not big enough. I don't recommend any exchanges or brokerages or anything like that for the UK or for anywhere because I don't want any liability risk. They go down all the time, and I don't want to be recommending any of that. I like Jason P. Yeah. TA haters in shambles these days. They are. You're absolutely right, because TA has been the only way to stay on the right side of this market, right? If you haven't got TA, if you haven't got the ability to do TA, then you've just been so wrong-footed because all the data is just bogus. It's all fake. I do not really invest in AI companies, no. I think the closest I came to that was a Microsoft position in the members section, but trading is easy. If line go up, buy. If line go down, sell. Manage your risk. That is pretty much all there is to it, right? But the reality is trading is a discipline, not a skill set. And that's what everyone gets wrong, right? Everyone thinks that they have to be some kind of master of charts and trading and TA and indicators and all of that. And it probably helps, right? But if you're the kind of person that can't stop betting the farm every position, or if you take one loss that's 2% and your immediate reaction is to all in that very moment and the first instrument you come across to try to win it back, then you know that you don't have any discipline. So yeah, it's easy, but the discipline is hard. That's why no one can do it. It's a great joke here. Why did the trader have to go to yoga class? He had to stay flexible and stay on top of the market. Yeah, well done. You believe it's going to at least 150k? I do as well. Shell, maybe it's not everyone else. Maybe it's you. Maybe think about that. Should we kick Shell? I think we've seen enough. I didn't want to do it, but we'll put him in timeout, like a child on the naughty step. How many minutes? 5 minutes? I can't believe this is a thing. Shell has been timed out. Oh, it deletes the messages, does it? Okay. All right, well, whatever. Anyway, no more messing around. Nasco, nothing to worry about. Healthy correction is normal liquidity. Must be wiped off. Yep. And like the correction is fast. Monthly charts showing us a lot more to come. I agree with Nasco 100%. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, Sean is right. But let's not give Shell any more energy, I guess. How can we make gain? Wait. Can make gain now, go long, hold 2 months, stop under 60k. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. While we're above 60k region, good to go. That is true. Can I cover AI? Not really. Like, what is there to say? Buy literally anything before they print 20 trillion. Yeah. Things will be pretty beaten down by then. Left translated means 2 months left max. No, it does not. It does not. Left translation could come before November of this year, as Reese has rightfully said. Yeah, it's not complicated. Why is it people can't figure this out? Like, how many times have you got to say it? Niraj coming in with, what are my thoughts on VDD indicating might be closer to the top? It's not something I track personally, but yeah, again, it kind of aligns with the left translated cycle idea, doesn't it? There's to my mind, there are more things in favor of having this first left translated cycle top come in, meaning a top before November this year, than there are things in alignment for a right translated cycle top. So I don't know, man. I've been expecting a left translated cycle, and that seems to be what's playing out. That absolutely seems to be what is playing out. So my therapist said holding ETH makes you gay. He might have been right. Do you know? It's so stupid. But are we about to lose this? Are we about to lose this, man? Oh my goodness. Please just die already. I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't, okay? Maybe it doesn't. But if it does, then oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's ETH doing today? This is not a real trade, just so you know. I mean, more or less following Bitcoin, which is kind of what it does, right? Interesting. Nasco got my back. I appreciate it, brother. Silver to $75? Maybe. Maybe. It's got to get to 30 first, right? And I would be really surprised if silver can just hot knife 30. It's been such a big resistance. If I go back here, right? It's been resistance for so long, and then way back when as well. Kind of makes sense to me. And it's a round number for psychological reasons. Kind of makes sense to me that we would get to 30, no problem. But then probably have some digestion. Wiggalot, did he apologize? I didn't kick him. I just timed him out for 5 minutes, I think. But hey, don't act like he didn't deserve it. New listener, can we briefly go over the left translated? Wait, the left cycle indicators. The left cycle indicators. What do you mean, AD? What is a left cycle indicator? Do you mean a left translated cycle? If so, then we'll need Bitcoin all-time history log and monthly reset. So if you're brand new, okay, then typically we spend 3 years in a bull market, 12 months in a bear market, 3 years in a bull market, 12 months in a bear market, and we repeat this every time. So that tells us that if we're going to repeat this thing again, right, then we probably want a 12-month bear market, something like this. And that tells us that we're in a bull market until probably around October-ish of 2025. But I have been speculating that we're going to get a left translated cycle, meaning instead of spending 3 years up and 1 year down, we're going to spend maybe a year or 2 years going up. And then, of course, the remainder of that will be a bear market. Kind of fits with this idea from Bob that a left translated cycle would mean a peak before November of this year and an extended bear market decline. Or if not, then this is invalidated. We do something more like this into a right translated cycle, and off we go. Oh, if Shell got timed out, then yeah, I can see people. Everyone wants justice for Shell. Look, I only timed him out for 5 minutes, but you got to understand he was. I'm behind reading the comments, so what was happening in real time, I was a bit behind on. Everyone was saying kick him out, and then by the time I actually kicked him, I realized everyone else was saying, let's bring him back. I don't really know what to do about this. I wonder if I can undo it. Doesn't look like I can. Nope. Gonna have to deal with it. That's what you get. But yeah, I acknowledge he apologized. You can see there's no malice or hate from what I said, right? Free Shell. He should be back by now. It hasn't been that long, has it? It's not been. It was only 5 minutes. MACD in weekly time frame going to reset in Bitcoin. Okay, yeah, maybe. Vets Roofing Inc. Nice. Late to the live stream. What happened with Bitcoin lately? Nothing, man. Nothing's happened, right? If we go back to this chart right here, despite everyone thinking something happened, go to my daily chart, reset this, take it off of log. You know, nothing's happened. It's firing an early warning sign, but it's still above the cycle low. So long and strong continue to push, right? What else is there? Does my 2% rule apply if I want to use Bitcoin as a store of value? No, it doesn't. 2% only applies to trading accounts. So let's just say, to make the maths easy, 50% of my net worth is in Bitcoin, spot, held in cold storage, and the other 50% is in my trading accounts. Then the 2% rule would apply for each position in the 50% of my portfolio that is allocated to trading opportunities. The spot Bitcoin that is held on cold storage in this hypothetical scenario that accounts to 50% of my net worth would be zero stop loss, right? That would just be something I hold. If I had, instead of 50% spot Bitcoin, 25% and 25% in physical gold, then again, there's no stop loss on the physical gold, right? It's something I allocate at major cycle lows, like 4-year or 8-year cycle lows, and I hold it with no stop loss. For the 2% rule and the 6% sector risk rule, that applies to my trading account, and trading opportunities makes up a percentage of my overall portfolio. Sells all as ETH. Throw the rainbow chart over ETH, yeah. Oh man. Historically, gold's performance in both downtrend into a recession. Yeah, so gold does puke into a recession. Actually, let me show you this fractal, which I think is really cool and super interesting. First, let me preface this by saying, you know, this is the melt up chart, okay? Now, again, the yellow arrow doesn't predict time or price, but it does kind of suggest we might have some kind of deflationary bust and recession if I'm right about this. And it's just an idea. But if I'm right, it tells us we might get some kind of recession and deflationary bust in the not too distant future. Now, keep this in mind. This has been the base case. If I go to gold and where's my fractal? Where's my fractal? No. Oh, there it is. Okay. That can't be it. What's happened? Why is it so crushed? Oh, bro. Trading view is... No. Oh, bro. What on earth is happening? Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. Oh my goodness. What happened? All right, we're getting closer. Hang on. We're almost there, I think. Where was it? Something like this, right? I think I had it like this. Was it like this? Yeah, so notice how, yeah, this is right. So let me zoom out. Let me make this a bit clearer so you can see. So here's this fractal for gold. This is kind of how I expect to see it play out, right? We got an all-time high break and ultimately probably says we're going to run much higher. If you've been watching every video of mine on the channel, you would have probably seen this fractal before. So what's interesting about this is reasonably followed it, tells us that we'll get pulled back into daily cycle low, another little push, right? But then notice this, around, what date would this be? June, around the middle of this year, right around the time that I've been speculating we would see perhaps a recession come in, a rollover in the S&P melt-up chart, and perhaps even a left-translated cycle top come in for Bitcoin. What does gold do? Gold, according to this fractal, has this big 20% crash. So in recessions, it's perfectly normal to see something like this, right? What's the expression? In crashes, all correlations tend to 1. So this will just be panic selling and forced liquidity generation, right? That's what this is. But I found this fractal really interesting because, like I said, it kind of suggests, in line with everything else, the S&P, Bitcoin, that maybe we're going to get some big melt up and then a crash and then off we go, right? So anyway, we'll find out. We'll find out as always. What's your bear case for Bitcoin miners? I don't know, man. I mean, 0 in the bear case. Best case is they go past their prior all-time high. Worst case is they go to zero. But I'm not really a price prediction guy. I just want to hold them because I believe Bitcoin is going to do Bitcoin things. And if that's the case, then these should do Bitcoin things as well. I mean, they're already doing okay, right? Let's take this off a log. Maybe it's going to recover. MicroStrategy, maybe it's going to recover. Maybe it doesn't, right? And maybe you have to pay some stops. But that's okay. If you have to pay some stops, then that would suggest Bitcoin's entered a consolidation cycle. If that's true, then we'll just re-enter when we get down here. Like, that's how I do it. Shell loves ETH. Is Shell back? Is Shell back from his timeout? At the point we're at now, would I still keep some cash on the sidelines? I regularly have lots of cash. I don't believe in being fully invested, particularly in a trading account, right? In a trading account, the majority of it is cash nearly all the time. Do I keep like cash in my longer term portfolio? Not really. Like I keep a bit for buying the dips, and when I took the partials, like here in the longer term accounts from Coinbase and MicroStrategy, then now I've got a nice chunk of cash ready to deploy if indeed we get some cycle lows show up. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with holding cash. I don't believe in being fully exposed all the time, right? And then it goes back to those memes. You know those memes where I show you like a salivating dog, and the dog's got like me, and then there's food on the table that's salivating over, and it's like Bitcoin dip, but they don't have any cash. Like, you know what I mean, right? So I believe having some cash is better than, otherwise you can't take advantage of the dip, right? $24 billion in longs could be liquidated if Bitcoin goes below 58k, and yeah, I think I would be one of those. So that's a lot. That's a lot of longs. Can it get down there? I don't know. Right, we'll find out. What are my thoughts on Bitcoin not starting until next cycle 2030? I don't know. I mean, it will start a 4-year cycle. Whether it repeats all over again is to be determined. But honestly, man, I can't predict 6 weeks into the future, let alone 6 months or 6 years. So one day at a time, as always, right? Is the UK economy doomed? I think so. This entire country is doomed. But I say that kind of with jest. I live in quite a privileged location, with quite a privileged situation, so I don't really suffer from that. But a lot of the UK is definitely suffering for sure. Regarding ETH Bitcoin, if you alter the inputs if you alter the input significantly one Bitcoin, then wouldn't it be expected the pre-ETF area of support would not hold? Yeah, maybe. I think overall it's hard for me to say that ETH hasn't got something wrong under the hood. ETH has always outperformed Bitcoin, like in bull markets. Usually ETH does pretty well, and it's just not this time around. So something is wrong. Also, there's a chart. I won't be able to find it right now, but there's a chart that shows the whales have just been in non-stop distribution for years. They've never reaccumulated like they did with Bitcoin at the lows. They just continuously sold it off. Partly, I think that's probably due to the proof of stake switch. But anyway, we'll find out. Matrix in the house. Hello, brother. My girlfriend is giving birth to our first daughter. Congratulations. Normally, tomorrow she will come. You're still my number 2 right now of favorite people. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And congratulations on your new daughter. I hope all goes well for you and your new family. I'm all for diversification, but what's the point in investing in such a long-term horizon for gold when you're already in Bitcoin? 8 years in Bitcoin is much more promising. Well, assuming past performance is an indication of future performance, right? But what if it isn't? What if Bitcoin goes through a big sideways consolidation? What if adoption slows? You know, I mean, you do you, right? You don't have to, by no means, just because I want to increase my exposure to gold, does that mean everyone needs to increase their exposure to gold? That's just my opinion. That's just what I plan on doing. I will be looking to buy Bitcoin back at the 4-year cycle low as well, though, right? Make no mistake about that. I want both. Just like I've got both now, I want both in the future. It's not 100% in one thing or 100% in another. Thoughts on Bitcoin not finding its 4-year cycle low till 2028? I do not believe that will happen. That'll be the first time I've traded countless cycles for a decade or more. I have 14 years experience. I think about 10 or 11 of that is in cycles. And I've never once seen cycles just cease to exist or move out by that much. They do wiggle around from time to time, right? They do fall outside of their specified timing window by a small margin, but not by 2 years. A 4-year cycle low that shows up in year 6 would be the first time I've ever seen it. And like I said, I've traded so many cycles. They're countless cycles. So yeah, I would not expect that to happen. I think we will get a 4-year cycle low right around 2026 at the end of the year, just like cycle theory says we should. Is the US 01MY what do you say on the monthly time frame? Yeah, this could be. I mean, it hasn't done it yet, but if it does, right? If it does, there's an awful lot like that. And whenever I make comparisons to 2008, people get kind of annoyed, but, you know, it happened here and it happened here. So I don't know, right? I don't know. It hasn't done it yet, but if it did, then yeah, you're right. And that also fits in with everything else I was saying. Melt up chart kind of explains gold, explains the dollar bid, it explains the left translated cycle top. Yeah, the writing could well be on the wall. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it. Eurodollar doing shady stuff too. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. There's so much weird stuff going on. It's like we live in a wild time. I did promise you all along, right, consistently almost every day this year is going to be wild, and we haven't seen anything yet, and I stand by that. JA, nice to see you. Still here. Appreciate it. Nasco's still here. Justice for Shell. I tried to click undo. I think he's out. He should definitely be out by now. Oh, I'm so far behind on comments. Suddenly, Shell is everyone's favorite person. Niraj, thank you again for the $2. Can I chart currency gel versus USD? Is this a real currency? Why doesn't it have it against the dollar? Is this not a real thing? I don't know, bro. It's not here. Why is it not here? I don't know what to say. No, apparently I can't, mate. Apparently it is not there, I'm afraid. What sort of crash am I expecting? 2008 or 2000? I think it'll be quick. I think it'll be very sharp, very deep, and over pretty quick because they're probably going to print a massive amount of money to prop it back up. So I guess it'd be more like 2008 than 2000. I would think probably more like the C19 plunge, but with more depth. If I had to guess, that is a guess, of course. Have I ever bought a meme coin in my life? No, I don't think so. Yeah, the comment section is really funny. Yeah, Reese, please do. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if you could join us more often. Should probably think about wrapping this one up pretty soon, though. Can I play some crypto memes? No, you have to wait till tomorrow, I'm afraid. Yeah, it might not crash. I'm not saying it has to. I'm just saying that's been the base case. But as always, I'm open to being proven wrong. Why is no one ever mentioning the risk of exposing Satoshi? Because I don't think it makes a difference. It doesn't really make a difference, right? Like, the protocol can't really be changed. Can't be changed. I mean, in theory it can, but it can't, right? Like, there's no way you're getting 95% consensus on anything ever, especially not at the size of the network. Like, let's say hypothetically it's Donald Trump, right, or Kim Jong Un. Like, what? Okay, like that doesn't sound great. Might cause a panic sell-off, but like, so what? Like, what can he really do? What can he really do? Like, I don't think it makes a difference. Like, if it's the U.S. government, if it's the NSA, if it's just some random dude, if it's me, like, what difference does it make, right? Yeah, maybe he could move 1 million Bitcoin, maybe, but what if he doesn't? And what if he does? Like, I don't think it makes a difference, to be honest. Do I also hold master trader status like Soloway? No, I don't. I'm afraid I don't. I'm always a student and never a master. So yeah. It kind of looks like ETH might be flipped by Sol, and I say this is by no means a shill, or like I don't hold either, but it looks like Sol is just slowly but surely going to overtake Ethereum, which is pretty wild. What signs might indicate a double top for Bitcoin? Well, just the general structure, right? A move into resistance, a rejection, a move into resistance, and a rejection. Is it worth paying for TradingView? I do not pay for TradingView. This is a demo account. And why would I? Because all I use, as you know, is a small watch list, a daily chart, some arrows, and some trend lines, right? That's it. So why pay for that? I know, wild, right? Revolutionary. What about SHIB? What about it, bro? What about it? I mean, if you use loads of indicators, you could pay for TradingView, and if you want like 100 things in your watch list instead of just 30, then you could pay for it. I'm not sure I agree with Capital. I don't think you really need the pro version. I haven't had the pro version in years and years and years and years. I used to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on charting software. And then over time, I was like, why am I doing this for a trend line? But you do you, right? All right, let's think about wrapping this up in a few minutes' time. So let me know if you have any more questions. I'll try and get to them. How about global liquidity dropping? Good point, right? And if they pull that thing, if the reverse repo is fully drained in the not too distant future, which it looks like it might be, then yeah, look out below, right? Maybe that's the trigger. Maybe that is what causes it. What does alpha mean? Everyone started saying it this cycle. Alpha just means advantage, right? It means actionable. What does it mean? Yeah, it means advantage, right? Excess returns investment. Is there another definition? Do I just not even know what alpha means? Alpha is a term used to describe an investment strategy's ability to beat the market or its edge. Yeah, okay, there you go. So your advantage, your edge, whatever. And then beta means if something is higher beta, so mining stocks are typically higher beta, or altcoins are typically higher beta to Bitcoin. And that means that if Bitcoin moves up, a higher beta thing moves up more, and when Bitcoin moves down, it moves down more. Meme coins have strong fundamentals. Do they? Selling the house to buy Sol. Don't do it. Historically, we always have a crash when the Fed drops rates. Not always, right? If it's a cut into normalization, then the market can handle that. How does that make sense? It's just because everything lags, basically. That's why. That's why we typically crash. And usually it's because something breaks and they're forced to try to cut the rates in order to prop everything back up. But it doesn't work right away because it takes a long time for all of these things that they do to actually manifest in the economy and in the markets. Yeah, it should be the opposite. And that is essentially how it works, right? But like I said, it takes a while for this stuff to show up. Why never look at the RSI on the weekly? I don't know. I just don't really like the RSI personally. I don't like any indicators. That's another thing. Over time, I just slowly but surely stripped them all away, and trading got better. If you're the sort of person that has 5 indicators on your chart, maybe like try it with a paper or a demo account for a couple of months, right? Strip it all back and see how you do. For most people, you'll probably do better. You're too kind, Niraj. I appreciate it. I do my best. Yeah, if you don't need, yeah, I agree, Nasco. You don't need TradingView. You don't need like the pro version unless you're going to have like tons and tons of positions. Thanks, Reese. I appreciate it. Do I like Sol? I don't personally, but I don't really like any altcoins. I'm quite like, what's the word, bigoted towards altcoins. Quite dogmatic about it. I just can't be bothered. How do I get the fractal tool? It's called bars tool, bars pattern. And it's under projection bars pattern. Alt season post halving, yeah, maybe. It could well be. Well, I've caught up with the comments. Thank you all for being here. I had a good time. I guess we'll try to end on something which is nice. How about this? A nice fat Bitcoin dump. So as always, right, all the while we're above the cycle low, then I remain bullish bias. And take that cycle low out and we'll reassess. For now, though, long and strong continue to push as always. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here. I had a right laugh. Fire comments today. So yeah, thank you for being here. Thanks for all the nice comments and stuff. Thank you for showing your support as always. And until next time, I hope you're doing well in life. Take care from me. All the best. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye.